Welcome back to Sale Resell Sold. My name is Heather. We're here to do our weekly top 10, our flip-flop, food, the things that I like to talk about. It's week 41, and we're just going to jump into the top 10. Number 10 is Lego Friends polybags, lot of 3, tulip, sunflower, and like a little jewelry box. These are older. This is pre-Friends redesign, and one of them still has a clearance tag on it. I think it says $1. So yeah, these were bought on clearance, like most of them are. I had these listed for $27.88, and someone paid my full asking price. Our profit on that would be $22.98, and it took 6 months to sell. Friends is not the most popular in the Lego world, but it should be, especially considering the colors and the little components that come with the Friends. The minifigures, maybe they'll have their day, I don't know. But they're different shape than the OG minifigures, and they're weird. But they have just the little pieces, the little details that these Friends sets have. It's what makes them worth buying, honestly. But for whatever reason, people, poo-poo them. I don't know why. Number 9, Express floral print flannel shirt, men's size small, button-down, gray, brown, casual fall. This sold on Poshmark for our full asking price of $30. It had been listed for almost 3 months. We paid $1 for it at Plato's Closet. It was new with tags, by the way, also. So that was a profit of $23 with a 2,300% ROI. Plato's Closet, I don't go there a lot, but I go there. When I do, I get really good stuff. Number 8, Sundance goldenrod embroidered long sleeve sheer floral blouse, black, no size tag. No brand tag, but Google Lens was more than happy to tell me that this was Sundance. This was at the YWCA, not the YM, but the YWCA women's clothing sale for Domestic Abuse Month. I was just happy to support. And I got a pair of Dansko clogs there, and this and a couple of other things. And this I grabbed. I didn't know what it was, but I know sheer and embroidery are in. I didn't Google Lens in the place because it was very small, and there was a lot of clothes, and there were a lot of people, and it was a lot of awkward. That's what it was. And when I got in the car and Google Lensed it, I kind of did a little kippy, because I know Sundance is a popular brand, and this sold for our full asking price of $39.88 in 8 days. We paid $6 for it. Our takeaway on that was $24.14, and it was a 402% ROI, and it sold on eBay. Number 7, Tommy Hilfiger red corduroy pants, navy embroidered fighting bucks. I'm sure they've been looked over and put back by numerous resellers, but I saw the gold. I saw it. When I saw that the embroidery was fighting bucks, I put that in my cart so fast, for no other reason. Just there are people who are going to think that is so ridiculously cool. Got it all home, got it all, processed. And as soon as I was getting ready to put it in the pile to be photographed, I saw there was a hole. I was like, crap. So we just noted the hole. I didn't change anything. My price on those, there were none listed. There were none sold. These are from 2013. I doubt any have survived this long. And I just listed them for $49.99, or it should have been $88, but sometimes I forget what I'm doing. And it took 29 days, and they sold for our full asking price. So a profit on that was $29.34, because the cost of goods was $7 at Goodwill. I just knew. So 419% ROI. I liked this one so much, and I was hoping I was going to be right, and I was quite pleased, obviously. Number 6, Disney Parks, Walt Disney World, full zip hoodie, size large, spell out Castle Black Gray. Got this at Goodwill also, $7. Let's see. It sold for a full asking price of $49.88. It took 2.5 months to sell, and our profit on that was $30.76. So not all Disney merch translates into good sales. It just doesn't. And I don't know why some of the things we find do, and some of the things that I have don't. They just don't. Like I said, it took 2.5 months, and we made a profit on it of $30.76. Number 5, Lego Disney Princess Cinderella's Romantic Castle. complete with box and manuals, but there was some box damage. I had this listed for $49.88. This was listed for almost a year. So when someone sent a $40 offer, I took it. Gosh, those minifigures are derpy. This was something that I did not buy. I don't believe I bought this new. This was probably, I got it at a resale shop or something like that. So, but I do not remember the cost of goods. So after it was all said and done, it was not promoted. So that was a bonus. Our profit on that was $32.12. Number 4, Dansko clogs, women's 39, floral embroidery, blue leather upper, rare, hard to find. And I don't use rare and hard to find all that much because usually who cares? But there was another color wave of these shoes. And I know Dansko's with the wood base and the leather uppers are popular. And I figured the embroidery, especially how great it was, would enhance it. The other color was brown. There was a couple pairs of those. There was another pair of these, but they had already sold and there were none in the listed, and they're a good size. So I just went with it, $49.88, because I paid $5 for these at that same women's sale I got the Sundance top at. And the wear was minimal on these. It did have like a stain on the front, which I did not try to fix or treat or any of that, but they are so super cute. And it took one day to sell, and our profit on that was $32.38. Number 3, vintage Pottery Barn Kids mouse house missing mice cloth patchwork toy. So my middle child, when he was little, he went through a mouse phase, like the tail of Despero, that kind of mouse phase. So cute. And I found this at Pottery Barn Kids, which admittedly it's a little pinkish and it's a little girlish, but it was a cute toy. He never played with it. He wound up being at the tail end of his mouse phase, moved on to bigger and better things like camouflage and war. I had it listed for $49.88 because there were 0 comps. There were none listed. There were none sold. It was listed for a year and a half, and somebody sent a $35 offer, and I took it. I was like, sure, that was an arbitrary price anyway. So our profit on that was $33.18, and honestly, when I bought it at Pottery Barn, it was on clearance, and it probably was less than $10 because I wouldn't have paid up for this at all, even for my kids. It's sort of cheap, and I love the clearance. And it sold on Depop. Somebody actually paid for something on Depop. Number 2, Eddie Bauer's Sun Valley Down Parka Puffer Coat. Green, faux fur, all the things. This was my coat for years and years. I have sized out of it. It is goose down. It was a great jacket. Anything that it covered, it kept warm. And it was fantastic. Had it listed for $49.88 and somebody sent a $43 offer, which I accepted. Thankfully, there were no promoted fees, and we walked away with $35.27 on that one. It was listed for 49 days. And number 1, which I don't know what it is. Let's see. Yes, one of those bags from the emotionally attached estate sale where things, we got a little carried away. It's fine. It happens. But, it just gets us closer to getting our money back and moving forward. This is a Leapskin Berlin green pebbled leather shoulder bag, hobo, oversized brass harbor. I had it listed for $149.88. Somebody sent a $100 offer, which I took because even though it was new with tags, it did have damage. It was hard to find comps on a lot of these bags because a lot of them were vintage and older. I'm not saying this woman was a hoarder, but we bought like 30, 35 purses from her, and it was just her. So cost of goods was $25. And when it was all said and done, it took 4 months and our profit was $50.34. So whoop, whoop, I'll take it. We sold 35 items this past week with our net profit for the week being $617.70. The average profit being $17.65 and the median profit being $15.20. Now let's move on to our flip-flop. Vintage Marlboro 50 from the Trail limited edition cookbook, Cowboy Cooking 50 Recipes from 50 States. I got this at a local bookstore. It's barely a bookstore anymore, honestly. Their pop culture has almost taken over the entire store, but it's called McKay's Books, and they buy books and give you cash on the spot. And they buy Lego, and they buy musical instruments, they buy electronics, they buy toys, they buy Funko, they buy anything pop culture, roughly t-shirts, musical stuff, and they get some really neat stuff, especially Lego. When I was a teenager, I was a smoker, sending in my Camel Cash and my Marlboro Miles. And I have Morning Fires, Evening Lights. I've had that book forever. These books are stunning. This is just for thanks for smoking so many cigarettes. Could you just turn in your UPCs? And like, this is a tear out little poster. Here's another poster, cattle, you know, but the recipes are good too. They have a tomatillo ketchup I've made. There's a corn fritter that's really good. A couple other things. And I've had this book for about 30 years. So when I went to this bookstore and I was looking at the cookbooks, I grabbed them. And I got multiples. I don't, just kind of silly. But this one's still sort of new in the package. And you can see it's falling off because it was so old. But I had it listed for $19.88 and somebody paid $19.88 for it. As soon as the transaction went through, we immediately get the message. So can you send it to this address? Because it's wrong on the eBay. And I'm like, unfortunately, we are not allowed to ship to a different address outside of the eBay platform. We will cancel your order and then you can reorder once you've updated your address. It's usually just part of the scam and you never hear from them again and it's fine and whatever. Bought it the next day, updated his address and bought it. So it's not really a flip-flop, but he did wind up buying it, which was great. And so when it was all said and done, it is my angel number of 1234 was our profit on that, which is great. Cost of goods, 50 cents, McKay's bookstore, with an ROI of 2,468. Don't ever ship something outside of the eBay app platform. You lose all your protections. If their address is wrong and they get it before you ship it out, just cancel it. Just go in and say cancel. It's in a drop down and it'll say reason why. And it'll say issue with seller's address. And you just click on it and poof, it gets taken care of. We've not ever had any problems or any slowdown because of it, because people do it all the time. The first time we moved to this house, I ordered a pizza. And even though I did change the address right before I ordered it, it wasn't long enough for the system to recognize it. And it still went to our old address. That was weird. And that's what you have for our flip-flop. I came back from our Florida trip with a little bit of the ick, runny nose, a little bit of lethargy, and I just really wanted soup. And we were going out to different restaurants trying to find good soup, which is hard because it's still warm here, so it's not really on people's minds for soup. We went and got pho, that was okay, and we went to Carrabba's, which has like a phenomenal lentil soup. Even if you don't like lentils, it's so good. I mean, that was it. We'd exhausted our soup options, in our opinion. So I started making soup. And so it's Souptober, and the first soup I made was lemony chicken and rice, which was delicious. We just had it for lunch. So good and comforting and warm. I made the stock out of vegetable scraps, and I had like a pack of chicken legs that I just, cooked and made the chicken stock with the veggie scraps and made a nice little broth. And then last night I made my all-time favorite soup from Olive Garden. And that's why this is why we didn't go to Olive Garden. There's not one near us. It would have been, with traffic, about 30 to 40 minutes to get to an Olive Garden. Even though we live in the city, there's just none in this part of town. But I will eat my body weight, anybody's body weight who's with me, in soup, salad, and breadsticks. I don't care for anything else on their menu at all. But their Zuppa Toscana could quite possibly be my love language. I love that soup so much. So much that I bought kale. I hate kale. Kale's gross. I should go back to being a plate decoration. End of story. I will not take comments. Not that we'll get any. I don't think anybody makes it to this part of the video. But I made Zuppa Toscana last night. My middle child works at a bakery here in town and they make baguettes, and he brings them home occasionally, and I just freeze them and pull them out as needed. And usually when I do, I cut them into little rounds and bake them. And then when I pull them out, I will pull them out with raw garlic and just rub them. And so A, they're hot, and B, the garlic is so small and it just doesn't want to perform well. It's very stressful. But it's so delicious when you dip it in the soup. It's so good. Seriously, we ate all the Zuppa Toscana last night. Gone. Every drop gone. Tonight is Chrissy Teigen's Parmesan Minestrone with chili mayo toasts. Another phenomenal soup. If you can find that recipe on the internet, I really recommend you make it. We're supposed to have a huge storm overnight, which is going to drop the temperatures here dramatically. for football where the Titans will lose yet again. They will. Bless them. But we're having chili. Chili. First chili of the season. It's such a Sunday food. I'm very excited about it. So there you have it. I hope you all have a great day and week. And I hope the weather is getting cooler where you are. Just inching us closer to Halloween, a personal favorite. Then on to Thanksgiving, not to be redundant, but a personal favorite. And then Christmas. And next week we'll go over our first month cross listing and managing those expectations. All right, bye y'all.